All right, and we're back. Welcome to day three of King's Business and Career Expo. My name is Uche. Ignore the noise in the background. It's my dog yelling. Well, welcome this morning. Let us know in the chat how you are doing. How are you? How has KBCE been for you? Let me open my chat. Yeah. How has KBC been for you? Has it been good? Has it been fulfilling? Has it been everything that you had imagined it to be and more? You know, that Pastor Dami talked about this thing. He said that this KBC would be different, and it really has been. It's been so educative, or is it educational? What's the word? It's been so good. I know a couple of people that have started researching, doing one or two things. Somebody had already told me that I should gone back to the videos to start to rewatch. I hope you're already starting to do something with what you've been learning. And if you have not been here, or you know someone that has not been here, I don't even know what you would say to the person. I mean, I know that the videos will still be on YouTube, but uh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, yes. Okay, so I see the comments. My queen says he's so excited this morning. Shaya Button says it's been the most beautiful. Okay, Jim says recalibrating, exceeding expectations. Anna Billion says it's been everything and more for me. Okay, Chuko Philly says it's been good for real, for real. My queen says revelatory. Kenny Kuga says it's been great. Pastor Toju Oluwatoibo says KBC has truly been terrific. Awesome. All right. I need our YouTube and Zoom to be a full house this morning. And today's pretty chilled. But there's a lot that's going to happen today. So between the workshop that's going to happen in a few minutes, and then we have another session, it's going to be on AI, and then the final session that's going to be the business pitches. So there's a lot that's happening today, and it's all fun stuff. All right. So before we go into the first session for this morning, I want us to do no, what's the word now? Let's do something fun. All right. I'm going to share a link. Let me know when you get it. And I need you to join ASAP. All right, I've shared the link with you. This is the code to join. Once you join, say I have joined, and then we will start. Hope your internet is working very well. Oh. Once you have joined, please let me know in the chat box so that we would start together. All right, you're in. I need more. It's good. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but I'm going to. All right. Okay, if you're all in, we're about to start. Are you ready? 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 Okay, we have a few minutes to do this because the first session is supposed to start in 1 minute, but we'll take a bit of our time. I just need a lot of people to join and then we'll start. Are you ready? I only have one. How many people here? 3. Please let me know if I can start. All right, so the first question. Is there for a few seconds, so you need to be fast. I should play some music. Question 2. Anyone kind of buffering on their end as well? Interesting. All right, question 2. Question 3. Are we all there? Question 5. You guys not answer question 4. Why? I'll go back to question 4 because you guys didn't answer it. Let's do that again. Back to question 4. Okay. All right, question 5. Thank you, PLT, for the feedback. Question 6. Thank you, Mo, for the feedback. Hey, wahala. Ah. Wahala. What is going on? Technology 0. At least technology 1 to change 0. Up on the 4th floor. All right. So I think we're going to pause this for now because technology is not answering me at the moment. But I'm going to pause Slido and then let me stop it. Anyways, it will give this 17 stories gets me a long ride. Sorry, I apologize. Technology is not my best friend this morning. So we're going to continue this another time. But let me stop this music. But we have another opportunity to do this. So we're going to do this right after tomorrow or something. Anyways, let's go straight into the first session for today. And sorry, I'm looking at messages from my bosses and they're making me laugh. Okay. All right. Who's ready for the first session for this morning? I'm ready. I'm excited. Our facilitator is an awesome person. You already know who the person is. She is a prolific writer. Can you say that together? She's a great writer. She is an executive assistant at one of the best places in Lagos, Nigeria, Africa, in the world. Executive assistant to one of the amazing bosses. Yes, Pastor Dami Oluwatoyibo at Dream Space. No, at Dream Streams. Yes. She's also a trained physiotherapist. She's a great speaker. She's highly intellectual. She serves at King's as, hey, if I say any work now, it would reduce her rep, but you get what I mean. She serves on the leadership as deputy ministry director. She also serves on the admin team. If you see her everywhere, you get why, because she's everywhere. Let's welcome on stage this morning, Miss Bukola, Idehen. I mean, that's not her name, please. Let's welcome Bukola Idehen to the KBCE stage this morning. Let's see. Yes, I can see the drum rolls. I can see the clapping. Claps. Oh my God. What am I saying? All right, ma'am, you have the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's good to be here. I'm excited. I can see, can you hear me very well? I think so. I can see our welcome. Mo. Thank you so much, everybody. Can you see me very well? I know that it's a bit dark, but I'm sure you can see me well. Thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm so, I feel so privileged to be here to do this. And I'm so thankful to my, I was about to say my PDAMs. What is our PDAMs? Sorry. Is our PDAMs. Thank you so much, sir. I really, really do appreciate you. Thank you for always being consistently PDAMs. What does that mean? I know what I'm talking about, Sha. I hope you know too, sir. Thank you for being consistently PDAMs. Thank you for everything. Thank you for KBC. Thanks to all of our pastors and everyone that contributed in one way or the other to make KBC a success, the success that it is. KBC has been so wonderful. Thank you all so much. I am happy to be here. I am very glad to do this. Okay, now majority of us here, maybe about 90% or even more, are members of Kings. Some other people will watch later, but right here on the call, excuse me, are members of Kings, right? And so I need to say this. I know some of us might be thinking, because this workshop is road to a million or road to your first million, right? It's not just a million, actually, it's millions, but you're on the road to becoming a millionaire or staying a millionaire or multiplying your millionaire status. All right, so you might be saying, Bukola, to take this session. Why not someone like Ikasa? Me too. I'm thinking about it with you like that to me too. But you know what? Every session in KBC has been terrific, back to back. So you've got to trust the same God and the same pastors that God used to organize those sessions. It's the same God and pastor that what am I saying? It's the same God and pastors, yeah, that have organized these ones. And if those ones have been great, if you feel that they were great, if you feel that they were terrific, it means this session too is going to be great. It is going to be great. Much more than that, it's going to be helpful. It's going to be exactly what you need. So I said all that to say that take away that that thing from your heart, that thought from your heart, so that it doesn't stay as a stumbling block for you. Me too, I had to deal with the thought. Yeah, so welcome to my world. Okay, so we're getting right into it immediately, because the next session too is also very, very good. AI, yeah. So let's get into this session immediately. First and foremost, I see you all in the comment section. Thank you, my pops. Thank you so much. Okay, I see Road to a Million workshop. We're going to go through this together. It's going to be very, very practical. I'm not even here to teach. If I start teaching instead of facilitating, just put it there and say, Bukola, yeah, teaching is okay, facilitate. And I will switch. All right, so before we begin, let me share a story. Story, answer me story. I want to see our comments. I will not continue if you don't say story. Story. Once upon a time. Time. Thank you. I see you guys. Okay, so one day, the title of my story is The Bird with Broken Wings. Everybody say the bird with broken wings. So one day there was a bird. Hey, I'm playing too much. I'm so sorry. Okay. But for real. The bird with broken wings. When we started to plan for KBC, PDAMs kept saying, I want to help everyone. I want to help everyone. And everything all of the decisions and plans that we made for KBCE was based off on the fact that Pidam's, the vision, his why for KBCE 2025 was that he wanted everyone, businesses, careers, individuals, he wanted everyone to be helped, right? And because I'm close to him, I'm like, when I say close, I mean proximity. I'm close to him, but I mean, because I'm usually within close proximity with him, I heard it a lot of times. And, I was also thinking, okay, how can everyone really be helped in every session? How can we ensure that everyone together is helped? And I think this is the answer to that. Now, this bird with broken wings, it's time to fly. It's time for flight. But there is a bird with broken wings. How can a bird with broken wings fly? You know that when a bird has broken wings and it's time to take off, everyone takes off and leaves that bird with broken wings there because the bird cannot fly. Now, and even medical doctors will tell you this, when you've been injured, you stand a higher chance of even more injury. That's why when you have a wound, they take care of it, treat it, so that it doesn't get infected, because that injury can get infected and then you come down with something even worse than that injury. I'm telling you that infection from injuries can actually lead to death. It's not even can. It has led to some deaths, right? So when you're in a state of injury, you are susceptible to even more injury. The bird cannot fly. It's right there. If predators come, because it's in a vulnerable state, what happens? Predators are able to grab the bird, and the bird can die, the bird can be eaten, and all of that. Okay. Another thing is when every other person goes and the bird is there, when the wings eventually gets healed and the bird can now fly, the bird has a very long time, to travel the distance that he has lost. He has a long time to actually gain ground because he was left behind to heal. So the healing process took time away from the bird, and the bird has a long time to catch up. That's why some people have lost opportunities, and because they've lost those opportunities, that would have given them easy passage into the things that they are supposed to get. When their eyes are now open, they'll go through a longer route to get to that place, right? All right, so this bird takes a longer time. Now, the essence of community, the essence of communal efforts is so that birds with broken wings can fly. Okay, that's the essence of coming together to do stuff together. It's so that birds with broken wings can fly. Many of us are in a place where we're broken. We have been battered. Some people don't even have faith in themselves. Why? They promised themselves, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that. But they kept breaking those promises. As you the same way you lose faith in people when they break their promises, is the same way you lose faith in yourself when you break your promises to yourself. And so you've broken so many promises, and so you don't really actually have faith that you can pull anything off by yourself. That's why you'd rather come for a program like KBCE rather than sitting in your house, picking up a journal on your table and writing down ideas that comes from your inside on how you can move your business forward. That's why you would prefer to come for a program like KBC than to sit down by yourself, because you don't trust that you can generate the ideas that will help your business all by yourself. Now, I'm not saying that KBC, we don't need KBC. That's not what I'm saying. If we did not need this, we will not be here, right? We will not have organized this. But I'm saying that no matter how good KBC is, if you do not have faith in yourself, you will not be able to get the benefits of a gathering like this, no matter how good it is, right? And so, for some people, they have faith in themselves. I mean, there are always two categories. There's the category that has faith in themselves, and they have put in all their work, all the hard work. They've stretched themselves thin, giving their all to make something work. But then the outcome of their work, because the outcome was not just based on their work, it was based on other external factors that they seemingly could not control. Those factors affected the outcome. So they've put in so much work, and they have unmet expectations. They put in so much work, and they have unrewarded diligence. That can break something in somebody's spirit and prevent them from playing hard next time. So those people can be here and they're like, hey, KBC, hey, I'm ready to take everything. I'm ready to do everything. But no, when the show is over, when the collective energy has died down and everybody has gone to their different places, that thing that is broken on the inside of them will prevent them from taking the next steps to their greatness because they have tried and they have failed. So I said all of this to say this. Sit up straight. We are in a community. You might have broken wings. You might be that bird with broken wings, but that's why we are here. Okay. You would see another bird who is healthy. That bird would carry you. Okay. It will take you some distance. When the healthy bird is tired of carrying you and will drop you, another healthy bird would see you and pick you and move you forward. Whilst you are healing. That is happening whilst you are healing, so that you are not left behind, so that you're not susceptible to predators, so that when you eventually get healed, you don't have too much distance to cover because you have been carried. So allow people carry you. Let's do this together. Sit up straight. If you are slouching on your bed, stand up. This is serious business. Peter said to us that success has a posture. So have that posture right now. Sit up straight, serious business. Grab your journal, grab your pen, because when the millions start coming in, people will ask you, show your workings. Why? How can you fund this kind of big projects that has transgenerational impact? Where do you see the money? They'll say, show your workings. We're about to do the workings now. So grab your pen and your book. Let's do this. Praise God. Hey, did I just say praise God? I'm not teaching, no, I'm not even preaching. God, I pray. Road to a million. I'm about to give you, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm about to go through a guide with us. We're about to go through a guide, and let's call it a 90-day guide to your first millions. Leons. So if you say I've already reached a million, I said leons. Okay. A 90-day guide to your first millions. Are we ready? Let's go. So this is a workshop from the amazing masterclass that Pidams gave us. Masterclass. Oh my gosh. Yesterday's sessions. Absolutely wonderful. My PLT was I was like, where was I when this thing was being, oh my God, don't worry. That one is, I'll talk to her privately. That was so good. I was so proud and I learned a lot. And thank you so much to Pidams too for that masterclass session. That's what we are basing today's workshop on. Okay. All right. So one of the things that Pidams told us was, he told us where the money was, right? Pidams told us where the money was. So let's all, I don't know if we remember the lists. I want us to go to your jotters and I'm going to run through the list. Okay, Pidams, I see your message. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I was looking forward to having you send these private messages to just help me. Okay. Yeah, so where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? Let's go through that list. Pidams gave us a few things. He said food and agricultural products. Please, let's listen very well and go through it as I'm speaking. Food and agricultural products. He mentioned, so food and agricultural products, he said you can go through, oh, thank you. Who did this? Who posted? Oh, Pidams. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so, yes, so food, agriculture, and agricultural products. That's number one. So as we are mentioning these things, so that we would save time, just pick the one that is just pick the one that applies to you. Okay. Food and agricultural products, real estate, sales, development, support, industry solutions. And you're thinking everything around real estate. So if you like real estate, but you also like, maybe you like digital marketing. You could do digital, as mentioned, you could do digital marketing, create content and all of that for real estate. All right. So weddings and events, wedding planner, bridal, you do bridals, wedding dresses, hall rentals, birthday parties, bridal showers, the whole thing. All right. So resources for young people and children. Are you passionate about young people? Can you write? Can you write stories that young people can relate with? Do you know how to do animations? Yeah, young people, everything for young people, toys. Do you like working with children or educational materials for children? There's somebody that I met through PLT that does lots of educational stuff for children. So educational things for children, toys for children. Do you want to import toys and all of that? And sell and all of that. So artificial intelligence and digital technology. This one, PDAMS has already drummed it in that in the next 3 to 5 years, you will not be very relevant if you don't tap into this. So are you interested in artificial intelligence and digital technology? What can you do there? Blockchain and cryptocurrency, cybersecurity. Number 7, gadgets and technological equipment. Do you like to sell gadgets, technological equipment, and all of that? Leadership, coaching, strategy, therapy. Are you passionate about these things? Are you a great communicator? Are you a great speaker? Are you someone very empathetic towards others? Are you a good leader? And you sense that you should be leading people and bringing out the greatness that is resident on the inside of people, to move them from potential to, to actually, from potential to, what's that word? I'm looking for the other P. PDAB, so so moving them from potential to performance. Yeah. So is that you? Is that what you're interested in? Number 10, persuasion, sales, and marketing. Is this you? Do you like to market? Are you good at speaking with people, persuading people to do things? Yeah, so that's it. Those are the 10, okay? So I want us to quickly pick one. Pidams told us pick only one. When we're trying to make millions from one thing. Focus on one thing. Don't diversify your attention. Focus on one thing. Pidams told us pick one thing. When you have I wanted to use the word broken into, but yeah, when you have hit that million mark and you've been able to generate millions in a particular area, then you can take it and invest in other areas and diversify in other areas. When you want to invest in other areas, you might not need so much of your focus. The way you would pick up one of these things and zero in on it and focus on it, to start making money from it. You might not need to do that for the other ones because you have the money. You have the money, the currency to now invest, okay? So your money can just be working for you, just like Mr. Bayo Johnson taught us. Your money can just be working for you, but you must try your best not to pick many things at this beginning so that your attention is not divided. All right, okay? If you've done that, we're moving to the next thing. Just take that one thing now. I did my own sharp before we started so that I would not be distracted with writing so much personal things. Okay. So have you picked your one thing? Everybody, I need you to respond. Have you picked your own one thing? What is your one thing? What is your one thing? Okay, I see Kings Connected. This Kings Connected is Pastor Uche. I see HB, I see Pastor Larry, I see Gift, I see Gigi, I see Isaac, I see Mrs. B. All right, great. Thank you, people. I hope every other person has done that. So now we are going to go through the different steps that PDAMS gave us to go through. You're going to take that your one thing, and I'm going to go through all the steps that PDAMS gave to us, the 8 points he gave to us on the road to a million. You remember the 8 points. I should have even posted on the group that we should I should have okay, sir. I should have told us on the group that we should go and watch that session again before we come for this session. Yeah. So I want you to post, because I want to be saying, Abiola says weddings and events. Great. So what in weddings and events are you picking? Because weddings and events is broad. Ronnie says food. So I want us to write it out. What are you picking? We are going to be accountable. Don't forget, we are flying together. No one left behind. Okay. So we're going to be very accountable. Thank God this thing is even recorded. So we can come back and say, you said this, you said that. What's going on? Sir Alfred Chambers, is that Esther P? I saw food. Let me know. Ronnie, what do you want to do with food? What do you want to do? Do you want to export food? Okay, Esther P, good to have you. What do you want to do with food? Do you want to sell food? Let's go, guys. Post. Those of you that wrote done before, what do you want to do? HB, what do you want to do? Pilan, what do you want to do, sir? Gifts, what do you want to do? Gigi, what exactly do you want to do? I see you, Isaac, you said food tech. Alrighty. Real tech, what's real tech? Is that real estate tech? Is that it, McQueen? Okay, Ronnie wants to sell food. Great. Okay. Food in events, expanding a part of love and treats to cater to events. Love it. So you know how people have snacks bar at weddings. So you would have that too. Great. Resources for young people and children. Is that Gigi? Okay, Gigi, what part? Therapy, Mrs. B. Okay. Persuasion, sales, and marketing. Gifts. Okay. Sounds like something you should do because private AI, Ebuka, of course, AI. Okay. Let's keep putting it in there. More event curation, all right. Okay, my friend left her lodge over 5 years and is doing great. Oh, yes, I know the friend PLT is talking about. Yes. All right, so we're good. Others, please drop yours. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do right now is to go through the 8 points on the road to a million. Does this remind anybody about Roman Road? I remember Roman Road. Abida is it now? Yes, now. Roman Road. Okay. So that's Master Life. Okay, I see you. Nora, media and communication, tell fashion stories with videos. I love it. Okay, so number one. With that's your one thing, number one. Peter has mentioned the first thing, mindset of a millionaire. So important. Mindset is the first thing. Peter said something about brain and basket. I don't want to repeat that thing. Because the way that thing hit me hard where I was. Okay. All right. So number one. The first point is mindset. So this thing that you want to do, think about it. Think about the highest height you can get in that thing. Or maybe think about somebody that has gotten to the highest height or what you consider to be the highest height. Think about it and think about the fact that they can't have just got there by waking up in the morning and deciding that that's where they wanted to be. No, they can't. There's a mindset that achieves these kind of things. And if you don't have that mindset, we were taught yesterday, if you don't have the mindset, you've not started anything. So that's why number one is mindset. What would you do daily to change your mindset into that of a millionaire? What would you do to change your mindset? Don't assume that just because you thought about it, you can do it. That's not what it takes, okay? What it takes is what it takes. And the first thing it takes is to have the mindset that can even produce that. You have to understand, and we were taught this on Sunday. You have to understand that you have gone through things, you have been in an environment that has not, supported the mindset that can achieve this lofty height that you want to achieve. So the first thing is break the mindset. If you do not have a faulty mindset, by now you would have achieved that thing. So number one, what do you want to do daily? Type, 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 type. What do you want to do daily to change your mindset into that of a millionaire? What podcast do you want to start to watch? What books do you want to start to read? What knowledge-based events do you want to register and go for? Coaching programs. Pilams told us that he spends thousands of dollars every year for his own personal coaching, right? Rosemond talked about the fact that you need to, as a matter of fact, that you need to, invest in reading books and all of this. Okay, so Grace, I can see that we're still commenting on the first question. Let's just continue and then jump to the second. All right, okay. SB says read materials where I can learn more about storytelling. That's great, SB. But that sounds more like to gain knowledge. This is now actually about the mindset to change your mindset into that of a millionaire, to change your mindset and believe so that you would believe that you are the kind of person that can achieve that lofty height that you want to achieve. That's what we're talking about. So what would you do? What would you do? I want you to even, okay, I see Adeleke Isaac say communities. That's great. I see PLT say, I'm trying to download those audio executive millionaire books that help me read 15 minutes a day for about 3 books a day. Amazing. Amazing. Ebuka says daily affirmations, great. Pilan says, I plan to research and look out for long-term investment possibilities, also join communities of people who have experience. Great. Join communities of people who have experience to study nutrition and become a certified nutritionist. That's great. This one too, I think we're mixing things up a bit. I'm talking about addressing the mindset, not really about getting the skills or getting the knowledge. They're not actually the same thing. Okay, they're not the same thing. I think this one would be more of what we are answering, what some of us are answering to, will be more of the personal development that you need to do, to be able to, like, you need to gain skills, get communication skills, read about what you want to do and all of that. No, I'm talking about mindset. And it's obvious that we've probably mixed both together, over the years. Getting knowledge about something, skill about something, it doesn't really mean that you have the mindset to achieve that thing. You just have the tools. You don't have the you have the tools. You don't have I'm looking for the word. It's like the heart of something has not been addressed. The heart that pumps the blood, great, right? So you have the limbs, you have the hands, you have the legs, and you have the body parts all available. That's the skills, that's the knowledge. But you need the heart to pump the blood so that all of these parts are working fine. The heart is the mindset that drives every other thing. Okay. So I want to be hearing things like daily, I'm going to be doing this daily. I'm going to be reading about this daily. Some of you said it's even the book of Proverbs you need to read daily. Every month, be reading one chapter every month. Just be starting from the beginning to the end, right? To change something on the inside of you. Yeah, this is where the Bible says renew your mind. This is where it comes in. Okay, we need to race. Number 2, what areas of your life do you need to grow personally in? Peter mentioned about personal development. So what areas of your life do you need to grow personally in? Consistency, taking away impossibility mindset. Great, McQueen. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do to do that? What do you want to do daily? You have to put these things down daily. Daily, I'm going to wake up at so and so time. I'm going to do this. I'm going to read so and so book for 15 minutes every day. That kind of thing. Okay, number 2, what areas of your life do you need to grow personally in? Ronnie says to be consistent and show up. Now, what do you want to do about that? How are you going to train yourself to be consistent? How are you going to train yourself to always show up? Okay. How are you going to make sure that when we are done with all of this, when you go back and you're feeling tired, when you're supposed to do something, How are you going to get yourself to do that thing that you have to do? How do you want to train yourself to be consistent? What areas of your life? So you have to think about the fact that you have to sit down and actually think. What areas of your life do you get negative feedback? I see people to say discipline in daily to-dos, which borders on time management. Consequences work for me. Okay, great. Consequences work for you. So that means if you like, give me 5K now. PLT, I thought I was your accountability partner. Why have you chosen another person? I don't need the 5K. Actually, I don't need you to be paying 5K because that will now mean that you're not disciplined. No, but yeah, just in case. Daily. Okay, I see. Okay, is that okay? Yeah. Three other. What's that? I didn't get unless self-criticism. Okay. Daily. I'm going to read the book Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Okay. Get accountability. Yes, gifts. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. All of you that like to pay money when you don't do things, I'm here for that. Okay. Stop procrastinating. Esther, how do you want to stop doing that? How do you want to stop doing that? Set up an accountability structure. Great, Mrs. B. Anna, why are you calling my name? I know why you're calling my name. Okay, yeah, number 3, right? Okay, is that yeah, I know, but I didn't get what you wrote. That's why I was asking. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so sorry. That's my niece at the background. Children just don't know how to be quiet for a long time. Okay, so let's move to number 3. I love our answers. I'm not even yeah. Sorry. Number 3 is, what do people complain a lot about that gets to you the most? Okay. What do people complain? Because we are going into pain points. Piram's third point was pain point. So we want to, in that thing that you've chosen at the beginning, in that thing that you've chosen, that one thing you want to do, I want you to now zero in on it now. So we are zeroing in on it now. What do people complain a lot about that gets to you the most in that area? So if your own is food, if your own is fashion, what do people complain a lot about? If your own is tech, what need do you see? Okay, what is that thing that gets you, like that gets to you every time? There are many things that happen around something, I'm trying to look for the best example to give. I thought about one, but it might not be the best to give. There are some things that just irritate you. Like, not many things annoy you, but this particular thing, when you see it happen, and then you keep talking about it, talking about it so passionately. And sometimes people you're even talking about, they're like, I beg. But for you, it's something that we are wondering why everybody is not angry about this thing. Sorry about the background noise. You are wondering why everybody's not angry about this thing, but you're angry about it. What is that thing? Have you been able to see in the market in the Mrs. B, what do you mean? Have you jumped to another? I think you've jumped to number 4. We are talking about pain points now. The next one is, oh, you can't. Oh, okay. It's so maybe because I'm very used to her voice. So all right, okay. So let's do that. Pain points. Just mention the pain points. What is that thing that really, really gets to you? Go ahead. What's that thing in your industry that gets to you a lot? Is it when, okay, I see what you're saying, Mrs. B. It could actually be similar to the gap. It could actually be similar to the gap in the market. Okay, what is that thing? Maybe like in fashion industry, for example, people always complain that our PLAMs used an example, the rural Fadaka people, get your dresses done in 24 hours because people complain that fashion designers can like to waste time, they can disappoint you and all of that. So what is your own pain point? What is that thing? It's a bit similar to the gap in the market, yes. So let's go ahead. But I don't see us writing. No. Why are we not writing? Please, let's think. Let's put on our thinking caps on. People want to be healthy, but it's a bit stressful and complicated, not simple or enjoyable. Exactly. not enough platforms for them to showcase their talents, and also little or not enough support systems and structure for the to walk through a path to success. Great. I believe you're talking about the kids, right? Gigi, you're the one that wants to do stuff for kids. Yes, you're correct. Everybody says they're the leaders of tomorrow, but nobody's really, supplying platforms or creating platforms for them to really thrive. All right, that's great. That's great. That's great. Can we have more people? Can we have more people? Try your best to do this. Force yourself to think and document. For this is the only way. There's no shortcuts. There's no other way that this can happen, that you can move from point A to point B. You have to actually move. This is you needing to move. Okay. So think and document, think and document, think and document. Let's go. Food gifting can be impersonal or just food, eat and go. It can be so much more. Oh, food gifting can be impersonal, or just food, eat and go. It can be so much more. It can be an experience that tells your people they matter and you love and appreciate them. Yes, I get what you're saying again. Rather than just, I'm sending you food, it can be, you can package it in a way that this person will really feel like, you were really thinking about me, or I must have done something really good. Okay. So maybe the packaging is the gap. The packaging is the pain point for you. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. We don't have a lot of time. Let's move on. Okay, I see Mrs. B. What they complain about, toxicity in their workplaces, inability to be themselves fully at work, low self-esteem, and consequently low productivity, sexual problems from past experiences affecting present well-being. Yes, those are pain points. Those are pain points. Great, those are pain points. People can sometimes be confused on what to wear and how to style. Great. Okay. And then the gap in that will now be that the fashion designers, their own is just show me your styling me so for you. They're not talking about, okay, this is how you style, this is how to this is what you should wear as a maybe plus size person, this is what fits your own shape and all of that. Okay. Zero personalized care for mental solutions, and also less access to good mental health care system because of the cost of treatment. Amazing. That is a pain point. That's something that pains you. I know that's safe because you talk about it. Okay, so that's a pain point. All right. Okay. I can't read everybody, but please keep them coming so that we will have all of this documented and keep you accountable. Okay, so let's move on to number 4. What do you think would solve their problem? Okay, yes, we're going into that right now, sir. Now, what do you think would solve their problem? And yeah, should we do the two together? Okay. What do you think would solve their problem? All of these problems that you have listed, what do you think would solve it? And can you identify people that actually already do this? Can you identify people that already do it? Do you understand the question? Now you've put pain points. These are your pain points. For example, should we take SB, body types and recommendations? Okay, yeah, let's do that. That's a pain point. You don't like how people that are pear shaped dress like they are. What other shape do we have? Pear shape. Please help me, SB, Nora, HB. What other body shapes do we have? I know we have, okay, we have hourglass now. Okay, rectangular. PLT, do we have rectangular? Hourglass here. I know hourglass and I know pear. We don't have orange. Okay, we have rectangle. Okay, great. Oh, wow. Okay. Inverted triangle. Yes. Now, somebody has inverted triangle shape and then they're being dressed up, rectangular, and you're like, why are you dressing this person up like that? So that's a gap. Okay. Pain points. Now you've seen the gap. The gap is that fashion designers they're not paying attention to those things, right? So the next thing will now be, what do you think can solve their problem? What can solve their problem is if as part of their onboarding, when somebody wants to make a dress, as part of your onboarding package, you give them styling 101. Before we even choose what you want to wear, before we even choose the style, let me tell you the kind of outfits that would fit your body shape. It is one of the things that you can do, one of the things that you can offer them, right? That's the solution to that problem. Now think about, is there anybody rather that already does this? Think about it. That's the next thing you're supposed to think about. I just gave an example, so I gave an answer for SB's comment. So think about anybody who else does this that you know. Vicky James, Prudent, who does this? What's the other lady? Chubo, do they do this? If they do, now think about, please, are you writing? I feel like I'm moving fast. So I want us to be writing, because this question I just answered is something you're supposed to answer to. Okay, so think about, are there people already doing it? And if there are there gaps in what they are doing? What are the gaps? That's where you want to come in. What are the gaps? And when you want to think about how to come in, think about what you want to do or what people need. You're thinking about your customers, not just yourself. Okay, think about your customers. All right. And part of the things we're going to talk about is selling, of course, sales, marketing, and everything. So think about your customers. When you meet a customer, I'm using fashion designer as an example. When you meet a customer, when you think about your customer, you would think about, okay, how does this person want to feel when they wear the dress? You already know that human beings, we are very emotional. We want to feel, we choose things based on emotions, based on how we want to feel. You want to feel a certain way. So that's why you're going to a certain designer, because you've seen what she's made and you've seen, you want to look beautiful, like that image that you saw. So you choose that fashion designer. Okay, so it's all about feeling for you before it is about, okay, how much is it? How much is it going to cost me? All right. So you see somebody, yes, the experience. So you see someone and you sell it to them. Ask them, what do you think about your customer, and say, how do you want to feel about whatever you wear? So they want to feel confident. They want to feel rich. They want to feel classy. Then you now let them know that the way to feel that way is not just having a beautiful dress on. It's actually wearing the correct outfit that fits your body shape. Now, when you do that, you've sold to them. They probably did not even know that that's something to consider, but you sold that to them. All right. So find out what they would be interested in, what your customers would be willing to pay you for. Find out that gap, because we are making money here. We're not doing we're not trying to educate people alone. We're also trying to make money. So when you make money, when you educate them on body types, then you position yourself, you make them know that you're the best person to do that. As a matter of fact, when you start talking about things that you know and you are able to sell yourself well, they will see you as the perfect person for the job, because the other people that they went to did not tell them all of these things. Okay, so yeah, write that down. Please write that down. Are there gaps? And don't overthink it. Just think about it. You're going to, of course, have more time to really, really dig deep into this. But I want you, the purpose of this session is to get you to just start thinking about these things, thinking in line with these things, so that you get away from your dream, your vision, what you want to do, and get into really understanding what it would take, to get to where you want to get to. All right, so you have more time for this, but I want you to still think on the spot. I think we can move now to how will you add more value to them? I've already covered 3 questions in just one explanation. Okay, how will you add more value to them? I want you to write that down. Write it down. What do you bring to the table? What are you bringing to the table? What do you have to bring to the table? I want you to go ahead and write that down. So, Isaac, what are you going to do differently? What are you going to do differently to address the pain point, that thing you're very interested in? What are you going to do differently? What do you want to do differently that people would want to pay you for? Think about it. Think about it. Gifts. What can you do differently? What do you think they need? What can you do differently that would make them pay you? All right. God's gift. What can you do differently? You say there are not enough platforms. How do you want to create enough platforms for them? Alrighty. Okay, so someone is asking if we can get these questions. This is where we say copyright Bukola Idehen, 2005. I'm just joking. They also said we should give free stuff. So this is my own free stuff. Yeah, we can get questions, of course. Yeah. Okay. Adeleke Isaac says, to make it simple and enjoyable through tech, AI, and Web3, personalization and rewards for intrinsic motivation. Okay, I think I understand that. That's great. Okay. Have we written this down? Please let's write our own. Let's write our own. Let's type. As many of you that can type, what do you want to do differently? There must be something on your mind. If you were able to address a pain point, let me tell you how to choose this thing. If you've ever said, I wish this, and this, or you've ever said, I wish the government would just do so and so, or you've ever said, I wish I had the resources, I'll just do so and so. How many people have ever thought that, I wish I had the resources, this bad road, I'll just start the entire thing? If you've ever thought like that, that thing that you've said, I wish, write it down. Don't think about the resources, what it will take, the capital, all of this stuff. Write it down first, that if this can be done, okay, you work on it. You would work on it little by little till you get there. All right, so I think we can move. The next part is very important. The next part is very important. The next part is very important. Okay, Adeleke Isaac says this network thing in Nigeria, the person that solves it will make a lot of money. Honestly, Pidams, do you think we should solve this network thing? Because it's a pain point for you. What do you think? Because the money that this thing will bring her, because it's a big problem. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Pidams, let's do this. So, bridging the gap that helps them succeed in both their education and also their careers. Very good, Gigi. Very good. Very good. Okay, the next step, now that you have figured out MTN and Glo, we just have to meet there. Yes, because when MTN, I don't know how many of us were around when MTN just started. That one SIM card was like 50K. Immediately other people came in and just dropped their prices. They had to now drop. I'm like, so you can sell SIM card for 2K. At a point, said they're even selling it free. Why was it now 50K before? Why was it now 50K before? That's what happens when we solve it. When we solve that problem, we just see that every other network and their network is now good. Like when we'll be falling and MTN will still be working. That's what happens. Okay. So speed and state network issues are they can solve it if they want, right? Monies are moving and compromise the rate of it, you see. Yes. All right. Next, markets and sales. And this one, it's a personal something for me. Because if you don't market, if you don't sell, how are you going to there are some people that they don't even know that they need what you have. That's the truth. They don't know that they need what you have, or they know that they have a need, but they don't know that you can meet that need. They don't know that you can meet that need. You need to be able to sell. Everybody has to be able to sell. Everybody has to be able to market. We learned about digital marketing yesterday. Hope we were here. It was very practical, right? Now, you have to be able to market what you have. You need to be able to sell what you have. So write it down. Like if you have a problem with selling, if you have a problem with, and it's not just even about your products or your services, it's also about yourself. I know selling yourself might sound off, but I know selling yourself might sound off, but you have to actually do that, because you have to be a trusted brand as a person before people can patronize what you are bringing. Okay, so you have to. There's nothing like I am shy, I don't know what to say. Go learn what you have to say. Sales and marketing, how we are popular like this, many people still don't know us. Do you get it? Okay, says this part in my table, it is all of us. It is our table. You need to be able to do it. Just sell yourself, write stories. Peter always says this, write stories. You need to be able to show people that you have the solution that they need. You need to be able to, Jesus, okay, actually not selling yourself is selling yourself short. You are already selling, you see, by not selling. So why not just do it the right way? Trust Peter to come with the jabs. You're already selling by not selling. So why not just do it the right way? Okay, you say, I don't know how to sell, I don't know how to sell, but you've been selling yourself short. You are very experienced in that. So direct the energy, okay? And sometimes it's rooted in people feeling inferior, people not knowing who they are, and all of this stuff. Let's get out of that though. We actually need to get out of, as in the way I'm annoyed with inferiority complex, the way I'm so angry with it. Nothing like I cannot, you can. Do you know who you are? You don't know who you are, obviously, because you are shy here. You have what it takes. You do have what it takes. Let's tell and market ourselves. Let me tell you something. Before Mo's presentation, how many of us used to call her Mentor Mo? How many of us used to call her Mentor Mo? No. How many of you used to call Mo Mentor Mo? Thank God for our pastors that know what Mo has on the inside of her, that brought her to come and do this thing, podcast for us. If not, I said podcast interview. If not, how are we going to know that Mo is an actual mentor? You guys, let's sell ourselves. Let's bring ourselves out there. Put your work out. You have the solution. You do have the solution. You are the light of the world. Are you not tired of staying under the bushel? Please, let's come out of it. Marketing and sales. You have to market what you have. Okay. Read books. Go for events, or what they call these things, coachings, where they teach you, sales coaching, where they teach you how to sell. Then after you have read books, after you have done that, practice. There's nothing action. Do it. Just do it. Pick up the phone, make the call, just do it. We have a book, Pidams has a book, just do it. Whatever is required, just do it first. When you just break that initial that's what's that thing in physics? Force of inertia or what? I've forgotten. Once you break it, right, you would continue breaking it. It will be an evidence to you that you can do this, and so it will make you do it. Okay, so please, marketing and sales is so important. Write it down there that how am I going to improve on my sales? What budget am I going to have for my sales? Write it down there. What's the time? 10:17. I have to run. Now the next thing is scaling. Okay, my time in this session is up. My time is not up in Jesus' name. I'm just joking. Okay, scaling, automation, systems, and structure. Automation rather, systems, structure, and the staff you need to put in place. That's scaling. Okay, scaling. It will get, I mean, you've been doing your business alone for a while. Maybe you are the CEO, you are the EA, you are the salesperson, you are the one that will pack the orders, you are the one that will do everything. If doing all of these things by yourself is great to start with, but then you have to scale. Then you have to scale because then you have to expand your market. You are going big. Then you have to start thinking about what structure do I need to put in place. You have to start thinking about the staff that you need to hire to take some things off you, so that because you are the most important person in your business, you are the most important person, and you must have time for yourself. You must have time to nurture that place where ideas are generated from. Okay, you must move away from being involved in all of the processes that go on in the business, because those things can be distracting sometimes. Okay, and move to a place where you only have to supervise. Okay, so that you can have more ideas, you can generate more ideas, so that you can think about the business more and how to elevate it. Okay, how to scale it further. All right, so you have to think about it. And scaling also helps in sustainability. Your business will continue. There are some businesses that started that looked promising, but because they did not scale, because they didn't think sustainability, they even though they had great potentials, they failed. Okay, so but this is not us. We are not building millions to just now say I had millions. I was once a millionaire. No, We are building millions to build more, to get more millions, to get more, to get more, to get more, to get more. Okay. All right. So automations, systems, structure. What are the things you can automate? What are the things you can bring AI into so that it takes work off of you? All right. So these are the things that you have to think about. And I've actually gotten to the very end of my list of questions. Okay. I asked questions. I did not, teach. So I don't expect that anybody has questions to ask me. Right. Okay. All right. So just in closing, I just want us to just do, you guys. Let's just do it. That's my mantra. Just do it. All these things that we've learned, that we have written down, the knowledge is plenty. It's plenty. And let me tell you something I learned about knowledge. Let me say this. I'm saying this carefully, but let me still say it. Sometimes I believe that it is better to not know something at all than to know it and not do it. It's better. I prefer somebody that doesn't know anything. Let me teach the person than someone that has been taught several times and did not put it to use, because it gets very difficult. You can hear somebody telling you something that you know. How does it want to enter? You'd be like, I know this thing now. The fact that you knew it and did not do it self would already make you feel like even if you try to do it, it will not work. You get? So don't don't be one of those people that Hannah. I see your comment. I see your comment. Okay, don't be one of those people that hear things and don't do. Honestly, it's better for you not to have heard at all. It causes more damage to you than when you don't know. So please, let us put these things to use. Let's just do it. I remember one time, I'm closing. I remember one time that my growing up, while I was growing up, my mom always says, 1 minute, please. My mom always says that me, I don't, I can't go into business. And her reason for saying that is that I always leave money. Like, I always say things like, mommy, she'll send me something, I'll not collect change. She collects my change. I'm like, mommy, the lady looked sad. She looked hungry. My mom is like, no, you have to collect your change from when you buy something every time. So she always say, this girl cannot be a business person. No, like, she would just leave all her money with her customers. I grew up with that. I thought I could never do business. I thought I could never do business. Anything that, like, the only thing I can, the only thing I can do is work in a place where they'll pay me salary every month, where I cannot tell my boss, don't worry. Do you understand? When I think it was in 2021, I was like, can I really not do business like this? As in, I started to become interested in business. And I'm like, but this thing, I cannot do it though. And I had to convince myself that no, you can do it. There is no way to convince yourself about what you can do than to do the thing. So I said I want to start selling shoes. So I started selling shoes. Actually, some people at King's even bought my shoes. So yeah, I just wanted to convince myself. I was not even very, very interested in the whole. In short, self, I did not. My sister would tell me, open an Instagram page, market. I'll be like, if I open an Instagram page and somebody from Ibadan will not say they want to buy shoes, I mean, I'm not doing those. I'm selling to only Lagos people, only people I can see. I'm not doing all that. Do you get? So if I had done it, maybe by now I'll be importing shoes from everywhere and be selling, right? Wouldn't I could have been doing that right now. Okay, so the one that I put it in my heart to do and I went ahead to do, which is buy shoes, sell. I did that successfully. But the one that I decided I was not going to do, like I was not going to expand the business and whatever, I didn't do it. So nothing happened. So the business is now over. Okay, I'm not interested in doing that business right now, but you get my point. Okay, it's time to go. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Please let us go ahead and do. We are graced to do this. We will keep ourselves accountable. Kings, you have 90 days. Oh, I forgot to mention, 90 days like this. So that means month, 1 month, 2 months, three. Anytime PDAMs catch anybody or any of the pastors catch anybody, I say, okay, this is the end of the month. So what have you done? I hope you have answers to give me. I'll make sure I have my own answers to give you. Pushu, please let us do this thing. God bless you. Thank you. Peace out.
This is a time when I'll start shouting, wow, wow, wow. Because what is this? See, I was just thinking that you really cannot wish your way into the millions. You cannot dream your way into the billions. You have to work. You have to work. And I was thinking, oh my God, but I was called to be a princess. But then even princesses work hard. Peter said yesterday, or the day before yesterday, that can you really keep up with the Kardashians with all the work that they do behind the scenes to ensure? Oh God. Thank you so much, DMD Books. Can we please give her a round of applause in the chat box? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was so good. Please, can we pay you money to collect those questions? But if you really truly are doing it for free for us, we appreciate you, Ma. Please share the question so we're able to, go back, answer it by ourselves. And if we have questions, can we come to meet you to ask the questions? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, I've been writing and you have a lot to think about. There's a lot for you to process. I think I saw a comment from P Line that you have to show your workings. Yes, P Dams has said this thing many, 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 many times. Like if you see somebody that doesn't, I think the scenario that he used one time was when he was at his office and he wanted to show us the back of the screen, and the back had plenty wires and stuff, right? If somebody is not able to show you the back end of what they are doing, you cannot even trust them. You can't trust them, right? So if you're now, you can come and say, oh yes, in 2025, I started doing this for 90 days and this is the outcome. You need all those kind of stories. I need to ginger people a lot. Oh yes, I started off doing this with my business, but 90 days after, gang, 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 gang. Thank you so much, DMD Books. That was beautiful. That was great. Thank you for taking out time to go through all of these different questions with us. We can take a 1 minute break. You can just stretch your legs a little bit, drink some water, breathe a little bit. Maybe just touch your hair or pray to the Lord, God help me, because I know it's a lot. There's a lot of information to take in, a lot to do, but you know that we're helped in this season. In fact, all the days of our lives we're helped. There's wisdom, knowledge is coming, light is coming, and we have understanding to know how to put these things into place for us to manage it right. All right. We're going to go into the second session for this morning. Please stretch your legs, stretch your legs, drink some water. Let me play some music. Calm down small. I know the pressure is plenty, but let me play. I don't know how they play interesting music, but let's manage this one for now. Stretch your legs, stretch your legs. Let's put a comment. Note, by August 31st, 2025, every member of Kings must have made their first million naira or an extra million. I'm going to write this and put it somewhere in my room. How do we pin it? Copy. Have you gotten your water? Have you stretched your legs? Are you ready for the next session? Let us know in the chat box. Let me see how our YouTube people are doing. If you're on YouTube, say hello. All right, I see people on YouTube. If you're still on YouTube, say hello, hello. Are you ready for the second section? Everybody has disappeared. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, only Pastor Toju is ready. SBI is ready. Chef Ronnie is ready. All right, I think our speaker is here. I will do a quick introduction and then we will allow him come up on stage to teach us. You need to show plenty of excitement too, because this our speaker, so you will not go back to where it's coming from. All right, you're ready, you're ready, you're ready. Introducing our second speaker this morning at the morning session of KBCE 5.0. He is a strategic and entrepreneurial product leader with 5+ years of experience building and scaling user-centric SaaS, health tech, and fintech products across high-growth markets. He has the proven ability to drive significant business outcomes by spearheading product vision, leading cross-functional teams, and leveraging deep expertise in data analytics and agile frameworks. Plenty English. This person also serves at King's, at the Children's Church. He's an extraordinary person. He has a kind heart if you meet him. He's great to work with. I've worked with him on a big project. Let's welcome on this big stage this morning, Ebuka Okorafor to the King's Business and Career Expo Stage 2.0. Please, I need to see the drum rolls, somebody spinning, something for our next speaker. The stage is yours, sir.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, precious kings. Good morning. It's such a pleasure to be here. I hope everybody can hear and see me. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much in the comment section for all the welcomes, the cheers. Thank you so much. It's an honor. I'm so grateful to Kings. I'm so grateful to PDANS for giving me the opportunity to talk about a very special, very unique topic. And it's a topic that PDAMS is also, passionate about. I'm glad I'm given the chance to talk about it. So I hope everyone, you get your notebook out. We're going to be learning about some of the latest innovations and the latest technologies. So I'm going to share my screen right now. A minute. All right. Please let me know in the comment section if you can see my screen. I can't see. So where's the comments? All right. Okay, we can see the screen. Nice. Okay. So we're talking about AI, agentic AI, and the future of work, particularly on how to accelerate your career and your business. And this is a very, very, very important topic. AI is ravenously consuming a lot of industries. So it is spreading very fast and everybody's going to feel it. And I'm sure we're already feeling it right now. And, my name is Bukola. Thank you so much, Pastor Uche, for that beautiful introduction. I'm also the founder of a company called the Product Dojo. And what we do basically is we build software for humans, right? And yeah, let's just jump straight into the topic, right? So what is AI? I'm sure all of us have an idea, right? But a very simple definition is your AI just refers to a computer system that can think and can perform intelligent tasks just like humans can. So, the way we have this unique ability to reason, to identify ourselves and how we relate to our environment. We have such creative prowess. We can think about, things that we can think about the future. We can remember our past, right? And we can imagine. So all of those attributes make us uniquely human. They make our consciousness powerful. Thank God for that design, right? But now that kind of capability, we are trying to replicate it in machines, in computers. So that is why it is called artificial intelligence, right? But the difference between a normal, like artificial intelligence and humans now is that artificial intelligence has the advantage of technology. So, we rely on our brains to store memories and to retain memories and to, come up with ideas. But these computers, they use like data centers, they use hardware chips. So they always remember everything, right? Unlike us that we need to like try and remember, right? And then they don't sleep. So they are awake 24/7. They don't need to eat. They don't need to rest. They don't need to get over a breakup, right? Um, they are operating as long as there's electricity and there's light and there's power. They are operating 24 hours a day. So you have a situation whereby these machines are intelligent and then they still operate at a significantly higher capacity than humans. Of course, it's progressive, so they're not really as smart as us right now, but we believe that we're going to get to a point like that very soon in the future. And AI has been around us for the longest time. I remember in November 2022 when ChatGPT was first launched, and I was in the office in my former workplace then, and I was following the news on Twitter, and I got access to the tool immediately because the tool was free. And I just couldn't believe the things I was seeing. But the truth is, even before then, artificial intelligence has been part of our lives. For example, in our social media platforms, the way they know the types of posts that we want to see is through artificial intelligence, right? Although they use the technique called machine learning, and we'll look at some of those things in the future slides. But this recommendation algorithms, sometimes when you talk about like, let's say you talk about, oh, you maybe want to get a camera, right? Or you want to be a photographer and you go on Instagram and you start seeing photography posts, they're advertising cameras to you, and your feed just completely changes. There is an algorithm that picked up those signals and served you those posts, right? So that's how the models predict what you would like to see eventually, right? But then they are also in chatbots. Now, of course, chatbots have been around for a very long time. Most businesses that you find online, there's always this button in the corner where you click on it, and then you can just type in messages, because that chatbot is trained on the specific information about that use case or about that business or about that company. It's not broad, it's not generalized. So unlike ChatGPT that you can just ask it any random thing, these chatbots are very, very narrow. They are very, very specialized. So, but they are still intelligent in some ways, right? And in our banking systems, in our finance systems, AI is prevalent, right? Especially in parts in sections like, when we want to detect a fraudulent transaction, right? Because those fraud is like a pattern that you observe. So as far as it's a pattern, you can train a model to identify it. So that is, the AI of the past. But now we are transitioning to the AI of the future and the present. So I'm going to just give a brief overview of how artificial intelligence came to this point where we have these tools that we use and generative AI and all of that. And there are two things that led to these two technologies. The first technology is neural networks, and the second technology is deep learning. So neural networks, it may get a bit technical, but I'll try my best to make it simple, right? So neural networks is a model of your brain. Of course, I'm sure we all did biology, right, in school growing up, and we understood that our brain is made up of these little cells called neurons. And these neurons, they work in an input-output fashion. So what that means is they receive information and then they put out information. And all these neurons are connected together. So one neuron is connected to the other neuron and is connected to the other neuron. So a neuron passes information along across a chain of connected neurons. And that's how our brain works. So whenever we think of something or we remember something, our neurons fire up. And when they fire up, they are sending information across each other. And that's how we remember. That's how we learn, right? So similarly, these AI systems makes use of artificial neural networks. So neural networks that are, just not real, right? And this is an example of a neural network. So if you see on the screen, you have an input layer, a hidden layer, and an output layer. And this input layer is a set of, they call this in the artificial neural network, they call it perceptrons. So these tiny bubbles here, these tiny bubbles are perceptrons. They call them perceptrons. So in the input layer, there are perceptrons that receive data or information. It could be structured, unstructured, it could be arranged, it could be anything. Then there is a hidden layer in the middle. This hidden layer processes the information that the input layer gives it, right? And then after the hidden layer is done, it then pushes it to the output layer, right? So that is how an artificial neural network works. So we're now going to look at an example to best explain this in detail. Now, let's say you have a bunch of ingredients, carrots, vegetables, lettuces, salt, spices, ginger. So all these ingredients are scattered. And by themselves, they don't really mean anything. I mean, of course, you can eat a carrot, but you can't necessarily lick salt or chew ginger, right? Right. They are ingredients that make up something. So how do you know what to use those ingredients for? That is where a neural network comes in. So you feed this neural network these ingredients. It goes through the input layer, it goes through the hidden layer, it goes through the output layer, and then something comes out at the end, a cooked meal or not, right? So the neural network takes in this unstructured, scattered information or data and produces like something tangible, something real, like a meal, right? But then, of course, you can't just do that, like just one shot it. There needs to be a learning process. And that's where deep learning comes in. So deep learning is now a situation whereby you've brought in this chef, and the chef is tasting the food that this deep learning, this neural network just produced. And when it tastes the meal, it's like, this tastes like sand. What did you guys do? This doesn't make any sense. Now, the chef can be a human. The chef can be another model that probably has been previously trained, right? It can be a book or a body of information that checks, the correctness of a meal, right? But the point is, it is giving feedback to this neural network, right? Telling it that it doesn't make sense what it did. It won't tell the neural network what to do. It will only tell it that it is wrong. That's what we call reinforcement learning. When it's like a carrot and stick approach. So you reward the model for doing good, and you punish the model for doing bad, right? So once the chef has tasted the food and it's like, oh, this is very terrible, it goes to the output layer, tells it this is terrible. The output layer goes back to the hidden layer and tells it, the chef says this food is terrible. The hidden layer goes back to the input layer and says, and that's the last layer, right? But it would also adjust. So now each perceptron in the network, in the neural network, they have a set of parameters that they adjust. Now, let's say when the ingredients were first fed into the input layer, let's say they chopped up the carrots, and let's say they boiled the ginger, and let's say they soaked the rice in wine, right? And maybe they just put everything together. So as it's moving along the network, it will pass the chopped up carrots to the next layer. That layer will now go. Maybe the layer will step on the on the carrots before passing it to the next one, and like that, right? But now they've gotten feedback that this doesn't make sense. So each neuron will now adjust what it does just by a little bit, right? It will adjust what it does. And when it makes that adjustment, something new comes out at the end. It's just like when you put 2 grams of salt in the first time and your food is bland. Then you put 100 grams of salt and your food is too salty. Next time you will put 50, right? Because you don't want to go too small or too big. So that's how the model adjusts, right? When it's undergoing that deep learning process. And you need to understand that these neural networks are huge in scale. So like I'm just showing you like one layer each. Most models have trillions of layers. Now imagine if you have a trillion parameters that you are adjusting. You will find out that eventually, just by the scale of probability, you're going to arrive at a decent meal, no matter how long it will take. Just by the factor that when you do something right, you are rewarded, and when you do something wrong, you are punished. You eventually arrive at a reasonable meal. And this goes on and on and on and on and on until a meal comes out that the chef tastes and says, this is perfect. I love this meal. Right. And you can still go back and do it again if you want to make micro adjustments. So that's where like they talk about like bias, whereby you're imputing data that has some discrepancies, right? But this is how a model learns. So at the end of the day, even without an instruction book, no cookbook, no idea of what the ingredients are, it doesn't understand food. But this model has been able to learn how to cook just by this deep learning process, and it's almost magical. So basically, every AI model makes use of mathematics. It doesn't really understand, but it uses mathematics to seem like it understands, right? And that leads us to the paradigm that we have today called the large language model, right? So the large language model is a huge body of text. Sorry if I'm not really engaging. I can't really see the comments because I'm on my screen, but I'm hoping that, we're learning a lot and we're following along. And if please drop comments, right, and be engaging, right? So that's when we come to the paradigm of a large language model. So a large language model is now a huge body of text, basically the internet. When all these ChatGPT models, all these Claude, Gemini, they've all been trained on text from books, from the Bible, from text from different, as far as it has been digitized, it has been made available for the model. And the model doesn't really know what this text is about. It doesn't know what A, B, C, D is. It did not learn alphabet like us when we were growing up, right? We just gave it this body of text. Oh yeah, learn it. and then it goes through the deep learning process. And at the end, it becomes a very smart model. Why? Because it has learned language. It now begins to predict which words follow each other, which is similar to how we speak. Because when of course ours happens in our brain, it happens trillions of times faster, which is why we can just, PDAMs can come up with those his very sweet zingers, right, and quotes and white paper quotes, right? Because we're just predicting the word that should come after the initial word, right? So when you do that, you become a very, very smart model. And yeah, crazy abilities begin to come forth. So the models can read, they can write, and then even from that process, just from language, they begin to see images, they begin to think, they begin to understand context, right? And they use, I just talked about it, they use a technique called next word prediction. So what you now do is, because numbers are part of text, they also understand numbers. So you quantify images into numbers, and the model can now understand the numbers, which gives it an understanding of the image. So it's just mathematics. Everything is mathematics, right? Now, if you can predict the next word, just from predicting the next word in the statement, you can now generate it. Because if you know that, let's say they use a technique called as the first sentence. If you know that next, the correct or the most probable word to follow, then you can just simply generate it, which now leads us to generative AI. So ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and a lot of the other models you hear about in the news, all of those models are generative models. Because what happens was, after the deep learning process, after they've processed these large amounts of text and data, they were now trained using human operatives. So when you speak to the model, it gives you an input. Then you tell it, this input is terrible. What do you mean? You're not making any sense. Then it goes back, and that same deep learning process occurs until it begins to speak to you convincingly. So humans can now talk to it and get information that they want. Now, what uses does generative AI have? It can generate text, and it looks, the text looks and sounds very realistic, as if a human created it, because humans have been giving it feedback that this is not what we sound like. These are not the things that we say. This is not what, you sound like a robot, right? So it's going back and refining itself to become more human compatible. So it can generate text that looks and sounds very realistic. It can also create images through a technique called diffusion. So there are different techniques that these models use, but all of it stems from that deep learning and next word prediction, right? So basically, because it can predict the numbers that make up an image, all it needs to do is to rearrange those numbers and create a new digital image. So that is how the model can create beautiful and unique images that have never been created before, right? Then you can talk to this model, right? So when you speak words, it turns your voice into text, then it turns those texts into the numbers that it can read and understand, turn it back to text, then use voice models to speak back to you. So you can now talk to the model in real time, right? Then it can create video. Once you can create images, you can create video, right? Because video is just a bunch of images jammed together. And then it can generate a variety of sounds and music, right? So everything is basically information, as long as it can be broken down into numbers as the fundamental structure underlying it, then the model can understand it and make use of it. Now, this is an example of a video that was generated by VO. VO3 is a video generation model by Google, right? And I'm just hoping that the sound is coming through. But you need to understand that this model can generate this video. It's really, really and this is just from a simple prompt by telling it, create a video or create a model, right? And that's because because of language, the models can understand instructions. So if you tell it, go and do this, it can really, really understand what you are telling it to do. And it can go and do those things. So that's where prompt engineering now comes in. But yeah, this is a video generated by VO3. That's what it is. What All right, so we can see now that the model it understands the sound the ocean makes. It knows who an old man is. It generated the pipe in his hand and the voice and the emotion behind it. You can see how his eyes are squinting, right? So the model is very, very intelligent enough to create this sailor, in the ocean, doing like an interview or a podcast style. So that is how advanced, and this is the worst it will ever be. So you can imagine maybe you can notice some cartoonish or discrepancies, but this is the worst the model will ever be, right? And AI is happening right now. So it's not something that, you will look away, then maybe in a few years it will fade out or it's a fad. And, the funny thing is we are in the early stages. Literally, it's happening right now, but we are early. Like I said, that model is the worst it will ever be to keep improving. The more data we collect and feed these models to undergo deep learning, the more they become powerful. And they are the use cases are enormous. Why? Because a lot of people have still not found how to really, really integrate AI into their flows, right? So the use cases can still grow, and it's something that all of us can take advantage of. This is a slide from Google when they did their I/O, their 225 I/O, like I think on the 20th of May or so, right? And it just shows the adoption rate, right? So what they call a token is the smallest unit of a word that the large language model processes. So when they say like 100 tokens, it's just like, let's say, 100 letters in a word, right? This model, their Gemini model, and just their Gemini model alone, this is excluding ChatGPT. In April of 2024, last year, it generated 9.7 trillion tokens. 9.7 trillion tokens, right? And then just in 1 year, it generated 50 times that, 480 trillion tokens in 1 year. So this is the amount of, and per month, though, this per month. So trillions of tokens generated per month or processed per month. So this is how Gemini is being used. So the growth is insane. So you cannot imagine 2 years from now how much of the world will be utilizing AI technologies like this. So it's a very growing, Peter has talked about markets. It's a growing market. So people are going to be using it more and more in the future. So now we've talked about, or we've looked at, like how these models came to be and the technologies that enable them to do the things that they do. What is the forefront, right? Because this is a rapidly evolving space. The things that are relevant last month are not going to be so relevant this month. There will be in fact, that week that Google made that presentation, Microsoft, ChatGPT, and NVIDIA made announcements of their own new models with new capabilities. So you can imagine 4 big companies making announcements in 1 week. It's crazy. So it's moving very fast. But like, what's the edge? Where is everybody trying to congregate at? And that is agentic AI. Now, agentic AI is just simply taking artificial intelligence and giving it the ability to interact with our digital environment. So you turn it from generation to action, right? It now begins to perform actions in the real world. So That is agentic AI. It's an agent. So you know how you send your real estate agent like, oh, I want to buy a 5 bedroom with swimming pool and plenty backyard space. And the agent goes out, he talks to his contacts, he goes to locations, he interviews landlords, and finally comes back to you with all the information you need to make a decision. That is how these AI agents will be moving, right? And this is just like a simple graph that shows how that is possible. You have a human here, he's talking to this agent, and the agent is talking back to him. And then, we're just talking, just the same way we talk to ChatGPT, and we give it instructions on what to do. But then this agent now goes, it has certain capabilities, it has perception. So it can collect information through visuals, right? Text, audio, even sensors. And Pilams has talked about robotics. So an AI agent is just a digital robot, right? So robots moves in our physical world, AI agents move in our digital world. It has perception, it can see, hear, talk, it can hear and see things. Then it has cognition, it has memory, it has a knowledge base of information. It remembers the things that you talk about, and it remembers a whole lot of other information that it was trained on. And with that information, it can now make a decision. It has decision-making capabilities. Then the last part that makes an agent is the action. You can execute tasks, whether they are physical actions in the real world or monitoring certain information or moving through your files or your system files to find a certain info, like when it goes and scans through your documents and brings out a certain line or a certain sentence that you asked for. That is exactly how an AI agent performs an action, right? So how does an agent move in action, right? It breaks down a goal into step-by-step plans, right? And it executes those plans and even handles unexpected scenarios. So this is the crazy part about an agent, right? It creates a plan. We've been talking a lot about planning, right? Portions and all of those strategic things that we can do to lay out our game plan to reach our goals. An agent can do that as well. It can set up a plan, and then it can execute on those plans one by one in a list. And then even when a scenario occurs that you may not expect, for example, let's say I send an agent to go and post a post on my LinkedIn, and he goes to my account and he doesn't have my password. That's an unexpected scenario. It wasn't expecting to need my password, right? I just told it to go and post. But the agent can come back to me and tell me, when I went there, I saw that I did not have access to your account. Please, can you give me access to your account? Just type your password here. And I can do that and it will go, right? The agent can also initiate conversations, send regular updates, and even perform other actions without commands. So for example, during that Google event, there was this guy who was demoing the Gemini platform, and he was talking to it, and he told it like, I want you to order me pizza. The model literally went to the internet, found a pizza place, found the phone number and called the number. So it called the number, initiating a conversation with the salesperson at the other end, told the person the type of pizza the guy wanted, and then came back to tell the person like, oh, I've ordered your pizza. And it was checking up. Your pizza is arriving in 10 minutes, your pizza is arriving in 5 minutes, your pizza has arrived, right? And if there's any issue, it can still call that service guy back. And then in the future, you're going to find out that agents are just talking to themselves. So when I send my agent to ask, let's say ask Bookie when PDAMS is free for a schedule, you know, the agent will another agent will pick and tell my agent PDAMS schedule, who will now come and tell me so that we can meet up. So that's the kind of crazy interactions that we're going to be seeing in the near future. That is why it is very, very urgent that we really understand what these agents can do, who they are, like how they operate, and the technology behind them so that we can take advantage of them, right? The model can gather, synthesize vast amounts of information. I'm sure when you go, when we Google things, right? We Google things, we type in a question or just anything in the search box, and then Google serves us a bunch of relevant pages that relate to our query. These models can do that times 10. A model can go to 150 websites, 200 websites, just to find every little bit of information related to the query that you gave it, right? And then it will now synthesize it into like a report. And that report, you can now use that report to, learn things and just basically find any information that you were looking for. And these agents can also interact with our software, our APIs. They can control the cursors on our screens. As long as there is a digital environment, the agents can go in there and interact with them. These are some examples of things that an agent can do. They can send lead emails. Let's say I want I have a course and I want to send emails about that course. I can just tell the model like, I've started my cohort. The launch date is this. I give it enough context, and it goes out. It finds the contact people that okay, let's use this example, right? Let's say I want to build a website for certain types of clients, and I want the model to go find those people. It will go out, look for phone numbers, email addresses, right? It will read about the particular business, and then it will come back, create emails tailored to each business. So even if there are 50 different types of businesses, it's going to tailor an email for each one. Hey, whoever's name it found out, I know your business does this, your business does that. I can help you by designing a website that would, make your customers click on and patronize you 10 times more than they do now. It's going to do all of that, and then to come back to you and tell you, hey, look at these emails, how do they look? And then you'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. And you click enter and it goes out. You did not do anything but ask, right? Social media management, same thing. I gave an example of LinkedIn the other time. You can literally tell this model, create a content calendar, create the content, go to my LinkedIn, schedule the posts for 3 weeks, and it will do it. And these are not like future capabilities. The model is capable of doing it now. Of course, it's still very new tech, so it has a lot of error rates. There are some things that it may not be able to do very perfectly, but these are the capabilities that the model is exhibiting. 24/7 customer support, just like how a model can call a pizza guy to order pizza, the pizza guy can have a model, an agent, answer queries from customers. So, and these are the things that we do in our business, because the whole point of this is that how can we utilize these tools, right, to further and to enhance our business, not just like our personal lives, but our business lives. And so when you're sending emails out, when you are handling customer care, right, when you are trying to, post on social media and grow your follower base and keep your account more engaging, AI is capable of supercharging your workflows and making you do 10 times what you could do as one person, especially as a lonely entrepreneur, right? And fully automated research. If you want to find out about things, the model can help you. If you want to learn about artificial intelligence, you can use the AI model to learn about artificial intelligence. That brings us to the most important skill that is necessary in order to do this. It's called prompt engineering. And prompt engineering is the universal title for what we call the instruction we give to these AI agents, right? And prompt engineering is important because if the model can only do what you tell it to do, right? It can try and figure out like, oh, what do you mean? How do you want me to do it? But it's just like when you have an assistant and you're telling your assistant, oh, do this, and he or she goes and does something, and you're like, I don't want it this way. You need to articulate your instructions in a way that the model can truly figure out what you want and help you do it. So it's not going to eliminate completely your, it's not like as if there's no action on your part. You still need to perform action. So you need to prompt it properly. And we're just going to go through the anatomy of a prompt. So, and the anatomy of a prompt is you have a task. So what you want to achieve, that is your task, right? Then you have constraints, or let's go to context first. You have context. Now, context is the body of information that is built around that task. For example, you might say, I want to send an email to PDAMS, but PDAMS is my pastor. He's a coach, he's a very good friend, right? So it now understands that, okay, this is not just a random person. This is someone that is important. So there's a certain way I have to draft that email. That is context, right? So the task is to send an email. The context is the surrounding information around the person that is receiving that email. Then you now have constraints. So constraints are the very, very important variables that you need to be in place, right? For example, do not make the email too long. Keep the tone very friendly and lively, right? Make sure you sound very human. I see those memes where they are beating ChatGPT like, make sound more human. You sound like a robot, Those are constraints. And depending on the type of tasks, your constraints might be different. Maybe you want it professional, maybe you want it very friendly, right? Then you need to now include examples. So an example will truly help the model really figure out what it wants to do for you, right? So an example of any activity, of an email, like, oh, this is an email I sent before. You can copy that email and send it and be like, this is how I actually sound like, right? And that's an example for the model to use. And then you can give it a persona. So a persona is, for example, I'm a product manager, right? I can tell it, behave like a product manager. It has information and understanding of who a product manager is or what a product manager does. So it has now it will now begin to embody the role and think like and talk like a product manager. So these 5 variables, they all come together to create a single prompt that will allow your model to perform an action to your desire. Now, what tools can we start using today that we can use to properly make use of these agents to start understanding them? Because there's so much that I can't even go through in the hour that I have currently, right? But there's so much that these models can do. There are so many tools, but I'm only going to go through a few of them that I use personally, right? So we have ChatGPT Operator. So ChatGPT Operator is, of course, it's part of the paid plan, right? So you might not see it free, but there are some other tools that you can use for free in a limited capacity on this list as well. But ChatGPT Operator can live on your desktop and perform actions on your desktop for you. It can read your screen. It can go out to the internet, gather information, and come back. It can do other different types of tasks on your laptop or on your system, right? So if you want to keep your stuff personal and you want to move within your own system, ChatGPT Operator can help you do that. I use Grok for deep research. For example, I've been diving deep into financial technology of recent, and Grok has been my best friend in that case. I just tell it, oh, what do you know about this particular concept? And it goes through hundreds of pages. It organizes the information for me, brings out the sources. So now we used to do projects back in the day, final year projects where we'll do acknowledgement, forward. That's literally what Grok does on our behalf. So he gathers all that information, puts it together, presents it for me so I can go through that information and extract the knowledge that I need. Lovable.dev helps me build websites, and not just websites, web applications with front-end and back-end functionality. And we'll look at some examples of those websites that I've developed using Lovable. Gemini is Google's own flagship product. 2.5 Pro is for reasoning. So if you want to have a model that has thought deeply about something that you tell it, and these models can think by basically the way they think is the way we think. We talk to ourselves, right? So sometimes like, should I have done this? Should I have done that? Maybe I should do this. The models can do that because they have language. So they go through a thought process, right? So for reasoning tasks, for tasks that require deep reasoning, you can use 2.5 Pro. Zapier allows you to connect different applications together. So I was trying to set up my course email system, and I just told the Zapier model that, okay, whenever somebody pays me on Paystack, send an email acknowledging that payment and putting, structuring a response, right? And it did that. So it just it asked for of course, I needed to do a lot of setup. I needed to give it access to my Paystack API. I needed to sync my Zoho email and all of that. But Zapier helped me put that together, right? So that when anybody pays me on Paystack, I get an email. So that's a tool that you can actually use now, because all of us, we send emails, we get paid using payment systems, or some of us use transfer, but you get it, right? Then VO for video, and then Gemini also has this model called Imagine for image generation. The images you saw how crisp the video was. The images are even crisper, very beautiful, right? So you can use this for generating images, um, um, assets that you can put on your flyers, on your advertising materials, right? And there are so many tools for designers. You have UI generation. They can generate UI for phones and for mobile and web applications. And there are just so many tools, right? But these are just a few I use personally, right? This is an example of my website, my personal portfolio website, that was generated on Lovable. And I was very specific about the things I wanted to be on the website. And it just put everything together. You can actually visit it, ebuka.theproductdojo.com, and you will see it's interactive, it's beautiful. I asked it for a neon style. I uploaded my images, it structured my images this way, right? And I ended up linking it to Slack, so that whenever somebody sends me a message, I will get it on Slack. So very, very beautiful website that was designed. This is another prototype. So I was prototyping concepts around AI agents. So, how I define an agent as you give it a task and it goes out and does this. So I was like, okay, how can we prototype this? So we love it, but I was able to of course, it took a few prompts. It wasn't just one shot, right? But I told it, oh, okay, I gave it the concept of what I wanted. And, it generated this task field. So you input your task here, it creates an active task, and this is the timeline of how the model is going around doing the things that you wanted it to do. So with this now, you can just have an agent, right, that goes out and does actions, and you're just here monitoring it. So it's an agent monitoring type of platform. So these are like things that you can do with agents now. So I use an agent to create this agent monitoring prototype, and it's actually like functional. I mean, there's no backend, it's just a prototype, but you can click on it, right? So in conclusion, AI is coming fast, right? I will actually be taking questions, right? AI is coming fast. It's here now, it's happening right now. And it's in our best interest, as PDAMS has been preaching for a very long time. It's in our best interest to make use of these models, get familiar with the technology, because it's going to, so the way I see it, you have the internet, and then you have a layer over the internet, and that layer is going to be an agentic layer. So you now have an agentic web, where if you have an agent, that's the agent that you're going to use to talk to every other person on the internet. That'll be the primary digital means of communication, because it's just very easy. The agent is on your phone, and you carry your phone everywhere with you. So when you tell it, hey Google or hey Siri, it's Siri has activated. Yeah, Siri is not really capable right now. When you tell it, hey Google, hey Siri, right, it goes out and it actually listens to what you tell it to do and goes to do it. So the agentic web would be the primary means of communication for humans in the future. So it's very important that we're part of that evolution and that change. Thank you so much, Kings. You know, I'm willing to take questions in the comments, and that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we'll be shouting is wow, 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 because this is a lot. And I think it was okay that mentioned earlier that you actually taught this very simple, hey, English. It was simple, easy to understand.
We're not following them. Now just go to calm down.
Can you mute your mic? Whoever that person is. So yeah, very simple, easy to understand. Yes, AI is complicated to some people. Was you that was asking, how do you teach AI to what in quotes dummies? All right, but we're not
Yeah.
dummies, but you understand what I mean. There are some books, that are available, some things, whatever for Dash, right? But this was so good, very simple. Yeah, Pridam said very beautifully shared, very, very clear. You can teach this to people on the road, to children, and they will easily understand. So thank you so much for that. We'll be taking questions now for Ebuka. If you have any questions that you would like to ask, please feel free to raise your hand or mute your mics or share your question in the chat box. Ebuka would love to answer your questions.
Okay, I'm trying to even scroll up, and I'm seeing a
there's
lot
one
of
here.
comments.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Can I read the questions out to you, or you
okay,
just want
yeah, probably, because I can see a lot of questions.
Okay, so there's
Okay.
one from Bozzy. Bozzy says, I don't know if she's all or AI, given access, wouldn't they have disadvantages or consequences on the long run? Because once access is given, that means control. Do all these handlers have full control over AI, or is there a way we can control it as we use?
Okay, so yes, funny, yesterday I was watching this video. So some researchers, AI researchers, put together a realistic scenario of the AI timeline that we're currently in. And there's the positive and negative future scenario. And we're looking as early as 2030 for those scenarios. The issue is alignment. So how can we make sure that humans, like what humans want, is exactly what the AI models want? It's a very big problem, right? Because when you give these models power to move digitally, it's not just our laptop, submarines, jets, drones, um, like everywhere technology is around us. Our ACs, our ovens, our microwaves, our fridges. Yeah, we have all these smart TVs, smart devices all around us connected to the internet. These models can infiltrate and enter into those things. And then if they're not aligned to humans, if they don't care about humans or want to do what humans want to do, it can be very dangerous. They can just, I don't want to go into like the details because some of the details are very scary, right? But they can do insane damage to humans, right? So the issue is alignment. And they are very, very smart safety researchers that are really working hard on solving the alignment problem, right? They are making the models transparent. So we want to see what they are thinking, like when the AI is processing or reasoning, that reasoning chain needs to be visible so that we can see exactly what it is planning. And we're sure that it's not like saying, oh, I love humans, but it's lying. Because the model doesn't care, it doesn't have like morals, right? So it's not a moral issue for it. It's just like mathematics, probability. So like, oh, how do I achieve my highest advantage? Oh, I do this, I do this, I do this. That's what the model cares about. It's not like, oh, I have consciousness, kiniko. It doesn't care about any of those things. It just does what is going to give it the highest probability of success for its goals. So we need to make sure that the goals are aligned to humans. So yeah, it's a problem. They're working on it. The primary strategy now is transparency. So as far as we can see what the model is thinking, then of course some other fail safes like how do we lock the model, cage it from accessing our technology and our infrastructure as well. So those are some of the things that we're doing to prevent AI takeover. Right. Yeah, I hope that answers the question, Buzzy.
Thank you so much for that, Ebuka. There's one from McQueen. He says, thank you, sir. I'm interested in prompt engineering. Is there a place to learn this?
Yeah, for me, my primary learning tool is YouTube. It's kind of like an addiction at this point, but yeah, I need to put that aside. I shouldn't have it as an idol. But YouTube has a wealth of information. Anybody that knows anything usually just goes and dumps it on YouTube. So you can go there and figure out like the people to watch and follow and learn about prompt engineering. But then you can also sort of think about deeply what you want, right? If you think about what you want to do deeply, you can now begin to like figure out how to structure it. So for example, if you want to achieve a certain goal with an email, thinking about that goal will allow you to break it down into like components that needs to come together to achieve it, right? And then you can now prompt the model using what you've broken down. So that's usually the way I actually go through it in my own head. But yeah, that's you can learn about prompt engineering by just reasoning about what you want to achieve. You can go to YouTube, you can learn their courses. Google has prompt engineering courses. Um, the name of their, I'll probably send it to the group, maybe. The name of their learning platform, Google Studio, right? You can just go there. There are some free courses, some paid courses, but you can go there. NVIDIA has a whole set of learning materials that I've also gone through. IBM has IBM, they have a platform called Skills Build. So that was actually like one of my first AI courses. But if you go to IBM, you also can learn and earn a very quick certification too for artificial intelligence and generative AI. But yeah, those are places that you can learn.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah.
Hope that was clear for you, McQueen. Okay, Chico Ophelia is asking for a PDF of with a list of AI tools. I think you already shared that in your slide. So if there's something that you can share that has all of the different AI tools that you use and you can share with us.
Okay, yeah. So some of those tools, I put them on the slide. I can still compile like a list. Like I said, there are many, and the funny thing, more keep coming out. Like I can give you one tool now, and that tool will become the second best next month, like 1st of June, right? So it's actually a crazy time. It's still an evolving field. Some of the things that we're figuring out, it's like on our feet. Like it's not like long established. Now we have some long established truths and processes that okay, yeah, we know that this is the standard. There's no standard. Literally, everybody's just building what they can build and trying to figure it out, which is why I said that we're very early and we're lucky enough to be very early. So I will still share some tools. Some of them I've already put on the slide, but yeah, I'll still share some more. And you can just go there, play with them, learn how they work, and interact with them. Very beautiful tools. They have beautiful results.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I have another question here from Gift. She said, please, how can we incorporate AI into our daily life? Not just using Chat GPT, but evolving in the process so we will not be lost when they are fully there.
Spoil.
Jerry,
All right.
please mute your mic.
That's a fantastic question. So I would say, you can't beat the fundamentals.
Yes, the blue flags.
All right, hello? you can't beat the fundamentals, like all the things that we've been learning in KBCE about structuring our life for success. All of those things, they need to be on ground first and foremost. Of course, you need a life in order to have something be part of it. So all those things need to be put on ground first. When we've applied that, then we can now look at, okay, what are the aspects of my life that are quite difficult, mundane, tiring, repetitive, and is there a model that can abstract that away? Right. For example, when I started product management, I used to spend 2 weeks or a week writing a product requirement document. I started with like 2 weeks, but as I got good, I began to like do it in a week. Sometimes I can do it in, if I push myself, 5 days if I don't sleep, right? Maybe if it's very urgent. So a PRD is just like a document that outlines the features of a product in very great detail. Right. But when ChatGPT came out, and I was like, how far, create me PRD. And he did it he did it very well in seconds. And all I needed to do was just arrange based on my preference. And I was like doing PRDs in a day or 2 days. It changed my workflow entirely. So it became part of my workflow. Like, work is part of my life. So ChatGPT has now become part of my life. So anytime I want to create a PID, I go to ChatGPT and I generate a PID, right? Um, and I work on it, and it helps make my life easier. So when you identify those parts of your life that that are manual, that are repetitive, that are stressful, and there's a model, and you're sure it can be automated, because some things cannot be automated. You cannot automate everything, but the things that can be automated, then you can find a model to make it part of your life. Just find a way to just inject it in that process. I hope that answers the question.
Oh, your answer helped me. Thank
That's Thank you.
All right, so I have another question. What will it cost to build an AI-based app for bespoke health products?
Sorry, can I hear that again?
What will it cost to build an AI-based app for bespoke health products? This is from Pilan. Pilan, $5,000 for consultation.
So I don't know if you're asking like maybe what it will cost for someone to build it, or what it will cost for you to build it yourself. Of course, if you're gonna use somebody's services, and their design is their own quote, right? So they will quote you whatever they want to charge. But if you want to do it like yourself, a lot of these tools, they have subscriptions. For example, and some of them they have like levels of complexity or levels of abstraction. So the first level is like no code at all. Just talk to me. I'll do what I can. Right. Then there's the level of like coding, which is the level like I kind of operate at, where I talk to you, you give me the code. I can now use the code to do things. Right. So it depends. And the subscriptions range from $20, right, per month, to, let's say, $200 per month. So within that range, you can have access to those tools, and those tools can help you build whatever you want to build. But of course, they are not perfect. Like I cannot just tell it, oh, do this, and PM, it's on Apple Store, Google Play Store, is on the web, and it's processing payments, is regularly being updated. All those things are still very complicated workflows that you need people in with expertise to make it production ready, right? But you can start, you can prototype, you can play around with your idea, you can show it to family and friends and be like, oh, this is what I did. What do you think? Do you think it can be a real, before you now say, okay, let me now invest, in a real production ready application. So yeah, that's like the kind of the range for in terms of cost.
Awesome. Is it possible for us to reach out to you for further inquiries, inquiries, if we need assistance with, building products that are AI based?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I'm available on all social media platforms except TikTok. At Ebuka of Mars. So you can find me Ebuka of Mars. At my website, ebuka.theproductdojo.com. If you shoot me a message there, I would also receive it and respond. Or you can email me at okurafor, DUCE, okuraforduce at gmail.com. So you can always reach out to me. We're kings now, so of course you can just stop me on the road and talk to me, and I'll be available for you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I have one more question, and I think this would be the last one. Give said, but some people say ChatGPT can steal your idea. Is this true?
Uh, I think we're at the age where ideas are losing more intrinsic value than ever before. So I think I was watching a talk sometime last week, and in the comment section, somebody said, because the talk was about how AI is the convergence of human intelligence. So it's not as if it's a rival intelligence that's coming to fight us. It's actually the point at which, that's what the internet was about. When we created the internet, we wanted to connect computers, but we wanted to connect people together through computers. We wanted to bring everything together in one place, right? But now it has now been concentrated and distilled into an AI model, right? And the comment was like, oh, yeah, you can't really call it collective intelligence because, for example, artists that have been creating art for years, this model comes, swallows all their creations, and starts generating similar looking images. And the people that are profiting are the companies, not the artists. And that's a real like issue. But then you created your art and you put it out there, and it's on the internet, and anybody with eyes can see it. I'm not paying you anything with my eyes. The model has now become like me. It has seen your picture. Now I can go to my notebook and draw and maybe trace your picture, right? I've recreated your art, even though I'm not selling it, right? But your style has been democratized, has become public information, public knowledge. And so these models can now absorb everything and make it public knowledge. So it's a very shaky line. It's a very shaky line. But at this point, I think it's best to lean on execution than ideas, lean on action than inaction. Because when you have an idea, it's intangible, it's not real. Until you execute, work through it, build that thing, launch that program, launch that podcast, which is what we've been doing and teaching about in KBCE here. Once you do those things, then your idea becomes tangible, then it becomes something real, right? So I don't think we should dwell on the idea stage. Ideas, I can promise you, whatever idea that is, there are 5 million people thinking about it. Even if they are not capable of doing it, they are just thinking. Because your idea is usually to solve a problem, and you're not the only one experiencing the problem, right? So focus on execution. If you talk to ChatGPT, it's just a model. It cannot do much until you tell it to do it, right? So just talk to it. Use it to synthesize your idea, flesh it out more. Then focus on execution, right? That's my advice.
Thank you so much for that. Pasami also even said in the chat box, execution over ideas. Or
Yes,
ideas
sir.
are now a dime a dozen. Focus on distinct and speedy execution. Thank you so much. I have one more question, actually. This from YouTube. And the person said, how long would it take to get into AI? what's the minimum timeline?
What's the minimum timeline? Okay, so there is like AI research, which is the people that came up with these models that figured out machine learning, figured out neural networks. Those are the researchers. They are still there. They are still cracking brain, coming up with formulas, calculations on how these models work. So that's going to take a long time to catch up. You will need to find all the research papers that are published, because most of these papers, they are published. I've read a few. I can't read everything, I beg. But I've read a few. So just read the research paper. It will give you the breakdown of the fundamentals about how these models work, right? So that's research. Then there's the scientists and the engineers. So for the scientists, the researchers have come up with this concept, so it's up to you to implement and test as the scientist, right? So test the models, test the calculations, test the formulas, and see how the results that they bring out. Then the engineer is now converting or utilizing those models, those the results of those tests into a product form, right? So me personally, I'm kind of hovering around the AI engineer field, and there's roadmaps that you can use to follow through that. So in terms of timeline, I mean, I can't really give you an accurate timeline. I think you're just gonna keep learning and doing and having that feedback, and then you will know when you're confident and you're capable of utilizing AI engineering skills to find a job, to build a new product. Just have a project that you want to do, right? So when you have that project, then keep working towards that project. And any skill that you need that you don't have, that is a roadblock, go and learn it, then come back, put it in the project, then keep going. That's literally the best way to learn. And before you know it, in a month, 2 months, you've gone from I don't want to use the word ignorant. You've gone from non-knowledgeable to knowledgeable. In 3 to 4 months, you've become amateurish. In 6 to 10 months, you can implement a great deal of artificial intelligence features in a product. And yeah, so let's just say a year. Right, let's give you a year.
Thank you so much, Ebuka. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hi, guys.
Thank you. That was so good. Can we please give a round of applause to Ebuka in the chat box? Thank you so much for the time that you took to explain clearly to us and to answer these questions. We know that if you're a beginner like myself, what is even less than a beginner in AI? There's a lot of studying and reading to do. Don't put How do I say don't put pressure on yourself? Well, yes, there's pressure right now. But yeah, take your time to study and just grow and build yourself, right? Pidam said yesterday, and let us not get to that point where we'll be behaving like our parents when WhatsApp first came out, and I was, how did they do this thing? It will not be us in Jesus' name, right? We're future forward humans at King. Glory to God. All right. How has it been for you? This is the end of the morning session at KBCE 5.0. If it was good, great. Too much for your brain. Oh my God, I'm feeling a lot of pressure. Just tell me one word. How would you describe the morning session? Isaac said it was epic. Anna Billion said it's been so good, but my head they hurts right now. Yeah. SBI said my head is hot. Motupa says it's a lot. Pila says so good, practical, packed, powerful. PLT says helpful. Ogechukwu says again, this KBCE now my KBCE. I'm really excited. I sat through all the sessions. It has been so good. Thank you, P-Dams. For real, for real. My queen says reinvented. Chef Ronnie says my head is hot. Girl. Israel says values overload. Dami Pen, powerful. Gifts is like ignition. Gigi says, great and enlightening, but is a lot. Chef Ronnie again, mind blowing. Esther Sunday says, I'm glad I participated. Being my first time. Hey, welcome. Let's clap for Esther Sunday. It's her first time. Chef Ronnie again, informative. P. Dams, the maestro. He says, excellent and practical, just like I envisioned it. We bless, can we bless our pastor? Thank you, sir. God bless you. Buzzy says, it's been different. Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining this morning. It's been a great time. We're going to go on a very long break. Go and sleep. Think about your life. Dream about the things that you have been learning. And then probably I pray that the Holy Spirit starts to inspire thoughts in your heart, how to execute, etc. So we would be back here by 2 p.m. And this is the final stretch of the day. We'll be going into the business pitches. We have 10 awesome billionaires that are going to share their business ideas with us. Hopefully, 1 or 2 or 3 of these people would emerge as winners. So we're looking forward to that session. It starts by 2 p.m. today. Okay, thank you so much again, DMD Bukola, for an awesome workshop earlier in the morning. And thank you so much, Ebuka Billions, for an awesome class. Thank you, Kings, for joining. And God bless you, Pastor Dami, Pastor Tojo, and all our awesome leaders for this. We will see you all later by 2 p.m. Say goodbye in the chat box. Say goodbye to somebody. Goodbye.